Following breaking news at this hour, a shooting involving a Memphis police officer under investigation.
And we've learned the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation confirms that agents have been called in to investigate this shooting by the district attorney, Steve Mulroy. The scene playing out this afternoon on McCrory Avenue near Avon in Berclair, East Memphis, where Memphis police are going to address the media momentarily. And if we're ready to do that, we'll listen in. As you can see right there, we have a large scene with police cars, a chopper above a crime scene tape, cordoning off the area, and a large number of Memphis police representatives on this scene on McCrory at Avon in the Berclair area, where our understanding is a Memphis police officer has been involved in a shooting. The police command unit, as you can see there, has arrived on the scene, indicative of a major event that police are investigating. And so this is the scene as it's playing out, and I believe the assistant police chief is going to speak.
You ready? All right. All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Don Crow, Assistant Chief of Police for the Memphis Police Department, and I'm here to give you the preliminary information on an officer-involved shooting. As you can see, the scene is behind us. The scene is very active right now. We're very early in the investigation. But this incident actually started at about 12:20 this afternoon when officers from Appling Farm Station responded to an armed party call to Hebrew Academy on South White Station. On the scene, they learned that a suspect did try to enter the building armed with a gun. When he could not gain entry, he fired shots outside the school. Thankfully, that school had a great safety procedure and process in place and avoided anyone being harmed or injured at that scene. We cannot thank the people from Hebrew Academy enough for their vigilance and for their ability to get information to us. They were able to provide us with a photograph of the suspect. They also provided us with the vehicle description that the suspect left. He left that scene in a maroon Ram pickup truck with California tags. We put that information out citywide to our Memphis officers. We also shared it with the Shelby County Sheriff's Department and the Berclair Police Department because of the part of the county that it was on. Great partnership with Shelby County Sheriff's Department, with the Berclair Police Department. They put officers in the field to look for that. Shortly after that, officers with the Memphis Police Department did spot that suspect vehicle. They followed that suspect vehicle until they could get enough officers here to conduct a safe traffic stop. The suspect pulled the vehicle over. He immediately emerged out of the vehicle with a gun in his hand, and that resulted in an officer discharging his duty weapon. That suspect was struck. That suspect has been transported to Regional 1 Hospital in critical condition. Along with this process, we notified District Attorney General Mulroy, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is now taking over the investigation.
Does the suspect have any connection to the school, and is this considered to be a hate crime against the Jewish community?
So it's way too early for that. Again, we're very early in the investigation, very preliminary in the investigation. We still have officers and detectives on the scene at the Hebrew Academy.
We were there around 12:30 as well, and we saw that there was a lot of construction going on, and construction had already resumed. There were only 3 officers there, and the scene's grown now. Was the suspect also a construction worker working on that school?
Again, everything is very preliminary. Everything's under investigation. Please give us a chance. I will tell you this, today is a great example of very alert, vigilant officers trying to protect the city. I personally truly believe that we have avoided a tragedy. I think this suspect was going to harm somebody before the day was over, and that our officers were able to intervene and protect the citizens.
And did the suspect fire, or did the officers fire shots as well?
I cannot thank our Memphis police officers enough for their bravery and their dedication to duty and how they handled this scene. And I tell you, we just want to thank every citizen that provided us information. We want to talk about technology helped us with this case. It was just a great example of what police work should be like.
That's all we're going to answer right now. We'll get the information to you. Thank you very much.
All right, so you just heard from Assistant Chief of Memphis Police Department there, Don Crow, addressing the media and the public, basically, Joe, advising everyone that the suspect is in the hospital right now in critical condition after being shot by a Memphis police officer. And the main thing, one of the main takeaways is I heard him mention this could have been very tragic. Thankfully, that school had precautionary measures in place where the suspected shooter could not get inside the building.
That's right. At 12:20 this afternoon, Assistant Chief Don Crow says that this gunman arrived on the scene of what is the Margolin Hebrew Academy on White Station Road and tried to gain entry. He had a weapon, and when he was unable to enter, which is a key thing, they were able to keep him out of the building. He fired shots outside. We don't know if he fired at the building or fired in the air, but he did fire shots outside the school, and no one was injured. But the Margolin Hebrew Academy folks had a very good description of the individual, had a picture of him, had a description of his vehicle, and they were able to track this man down when they had enough officers sufficient to make a safe traffic stop at McCrory and Avon and Berclair.
Let's go live now to our Walter Murphy. He joins us from the scene. Walter, what have you learned? What can you tell us? We just listened in to Chief Crow. Anything else you can offer?
So you heard Chief Crow a moment ago give that press conference, and he said it all started about 7 minutes away at the Jewish Academy. Now, we were also there. He said it started around 12:20 when that suspect tried to enter the school, and then they were, people at the school alerted the officers and let them know that someone was there and there was an armed party. Anyway, we were there about 12:30.
All right, we apologize.
There at the time, but about 5 minutes later, about 5 minutes later, we did get to this scene when we heard that there had been an officer that had shot a suspect. We were unclear until just moments ago whether or not they were connected, but Chief Crow did just connect those dots. Now, I was trying to ask questions to see if the suspect fired shots at officers or if officers fired shots first, but again, we just heard that live. Now, I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to take a listen so I can get a second look at it. But again, the scene is still very large right now. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has taken over, and we will offer you an update as the day unfolds. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio. And live in Berclair, I'm Walter Murphy, Action News 5.
All right, thank you. So once again, if you are just now joining us,
What happened, Meg?
Once again, if you're just now joining us, we have been following breaking news of a Memphis police officer involved shooting. We do understand that that suspect has been listed in critical condition in the hospital. So no suspect at large at this particular time. Joe, this could have been a very tragic situation, but thankfully it was not the case, and they are continuing to investigate. Again, a very serious situation, which could have been bad.
And so during the noon hour, 12:20 today, this all began when the armed party arrived on the Margolin Hebrew Academy property and tried to gain entry, was unable to enter, and ultimately was shot by a Memphis police officer after he was tracked down. Just to let you know, there has been a lot of precautions. There have been a lot of precautions made today in the Jewish community particularly, but citywide. So the Jewish Community Center was closed and locked down for a while. Synagogues and other places of worship in the community were shut down and locked down as a precaution until the all clear came. Then there was also the Memphis Shelby County schools all locked down as a result of this event today, because there was a threat against the school, and we didn't know whether the authorities didn't know whether or not the individual had a desire to go harm people at any school. And so all the schools were shut down, locked down for a time today. They've all stepped back and are now reopened, and life goes on as usual. But for a time today, there was great concern until this individual was taken to the hospital, and apparently there are not any other parties involved in this case. We are going to have a full report on Action News 5 coming up at 4 o'clock in about 34 minutes. So right here is the place to be.
Certainly a crisis situation avoided, and we're very thankful for that. Thank you so much for allowing us to break in now with this breaking news. As Joe mentioned, we'll continue to follow it, and we'll be back with you more for Action News 5 when we see you here at 4.